Thank you, Chairman Jimenez and Ranking Member Thanadar for hosting this hearing on polar ice cutting. Vice Admiral Allen, thank you for being here, for your testimony, for your service to our country. Marine commerce in the Great Lakes is vital, with tens of millions of metric tons moved across the Great Lakes and hundreds of thousands of jobs that are supported here in the United States. In the winter months, like these months we're in today, the ice forms up on the Great Lakes. It gets in the way of commerce. It disrupts supply chains. It poses safety risks to vessels. And it's a disruptive force, especially in shallow lakes like Lake Erie, which my community that I live in the district that I represent, directly abuts, along with Lake Ontario. And the Great Lakes region really relies upon these icebreakers, these ice cutters. Without these icebreakers, our economy takes a massive hit, and it's concerning that the fleet has significantly aged and has actually been depleted from 20 ships down to 11 ships currently. As you know, there was a decrease in funding that was asked for from $55 million ultimately to what was allocated to $20 million. Can you talk about the risk that's posed by that $35 million shortfall for the icebreaker program?
Yes, sir. So when you start talking about the Coast Guard cutter Mackinac, we almost referred to her as one of our newer cutters, but she's 20 years old, and she is the only cutter that's providing the kind of cuts within the Great Lakes that'll allow those big ore ships to move and keep commerce going. We also have a system of ships between our 225-foot buoy tenders and our 148-foot ice-breaking tugs. And that system provides some capability for us in the what we would call milder winters. If we get into heavy winters, we would probably need to meet the demands of that two Mackinac-like icebreakers. Right now, we have good relationships with Canada, and Canada has some bigger icebreakers in there, and we work with them to keep that ice cleared because they have some of the same challenges. But to your point, we needed $55 million to get the new icebreaker ready and headed towards where we need to establish a program office and start design. We got $20 million.
Thank you.
We're short.
Thank you. You're short. What would $55 million accomplish?
So, sir, it would stand up our program office. We're already doing some things on indicative design for what a icebreaker up in the Great Lakes would look like, but it would allow us to push that forward, and it would allow us to get ready to have a design so that we could start to go towards not only indicative design, but an award a contract for final design and build.
And let me be clear, this is the Great Lakes I'm talking about, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, fed through Canada, the Welland Canal, up through the St. Lawrence Seaway, out to the Atlantic. This is shipping for the entire eastern seaboard and northeast of the United States into the Midwest. This has a tremendous impact on our national economy, and it needs to be resolved. There have been funds that have been authorized and appropriated for construction of a new icebreaker, but haven't passed the first hurdle yet for approval. What's causing the delay?
So, sir, we were asked to start a program office by January 1st of 2025, and we will have that in place. It'll be a small office that begins to take that indicative design, which we took some risk at going at with Coast Guard resources, but we'll be able to build on that to get to where you're talking about, to be able to provide that kind of icebreaking for the Great Lakes.
Well, I appreciate that, and I urge Congress and the United States Coast Guard to prioritize modernizing and expanding the fleet of icebreakers for the Great Lakes. Additional icebreakers for the Great Lakes are absolutely essential to move our economy, to grow our economy, for economic vitality throughout our entire nation, as I've mentioned already. So we're looking forward to working with you to get this program fully funded and to expedite the implementation, the construction and implementation of these icebreakers. Chairman, I yield back.